You are born into the modern middle class. Your childhood is warm, safe, and sheltered. It smells of fresh laundry, plastic toys, and Saturday morning cartoons. From the very moment you can hold a pencil, the programming begins. Your parents, your teachers, your society, they all whisper the exact same rules into your ear. They teach you the sacred equation of the middle class. Get good grades. Go to a prestigious college. Get a safe, salaried job. Do this, they promise you, and you will be free. You will be happy. By age 7, you learn that obedience is rewarded. Sit still at your desk. Raise your hand if you want to speak. Ask for permission to use the restroom. You are told this is education, but in reality you are being trained. Not to be a thinker, but to be a very compliant employee. By age 18, the indoctrination is complete. You stand on a stage in a graduation cap and gown, smiling proudly for the cameras. You believe you are stepping into a world of limitless opportunity. You believe the system was built to reward your hard work. But as you walk across that stage, you don't realize something crucial. You aren't a player in the game of wealth. You are the product, and the trap has already been set. A few weeks after your 18th birthday, you are handed a thick stack of papers. Society has decided that you are not responsible enough to buy a beer. You are not trusted to rent a car. But you are perfectly qualified to sign away your financial future. You don't read the fine print. You just sign on the dotted line. Why wouldn't you? Everyone else is doing it. Your parents nod in approval. The system smiles. With a single stroke of a pen, you are granted $60,000. But it isn't wealth. It is a heavy, invisible chain. For the next 4 years, you live in a beautiful illusion of freedom. You move into a dorm. You study, you go to parties, you sleep until noon. For the first time in your life, you feel like an independent adult. But in the dark, a silent meter is ticking. Interest is compounding. It grows while you sleep. It grows while you study. It grows while you laugh with your friends. By age 22, the 4-year party comes to an abrupt end. You are handed another piece of paper, a diploma. You pack up your childhood bedroom and step out into the real world. And then, the 6-month grace period expires. A letter arrives in the mail. The bank is here. They want their money back. And just like that, the illusion shatters. You realize that to pay for your past, you must now sell your future. You are 25 years old. You finally land the corporate job. You put on a sharp blue suit. You walk into a towering glass building, take the elevator to the 12th floor, and sit at your very own desk. For a brief, fleeting moment, you feel a sense of triumph. You followed the rules, and it worked. You have arrived. Then, 2 weeks later, it is Friday. Your very first paycheck hits your bank account. You open your banking app, expecting to see the reward for 20 years of obedience. But as you look at the numbers, a cold reality sets in. Before the money even reached your hands, an invisible entity took its cut. 30% is gone immediately, taxes, the toll you pay simply to exist within the system. Then, the first of the month arrives. Another massive slice vanishes, rent, paid to a landlord who bought the building while you were still in middle school. Then, the student loan servicer takes their share. Then health insurance, car payments, utilities, groceries. You look at the final number at the bottom of the screen. You are working 45 hours a week, generating massive value, but you are keeping almost none of it. A creeping panic begins to rise in your chest. The math doesn't make sense. You make more money than your grandparents ever did, yet you feel entirely broke. To numb the panic, you do exactly what the system trained you to do. You consume. You walk into a brightly lit cafe and buy an $8 iced coffee. You buy a $1,000 smartphone on a monthly payment plan. You take a weekend trip, take a flawless photo, and post it online for everyone to see. To the outside world, you look like a complete success. You are draped in the shiny modern aesthetics of wealth. But behind closed doors, you are crying over a spreadsheet. You are living paycheck to paycheck, one medical emergency away from total ruin. You realize you aren't a capitalist. You are a premium peasant. You are 30 years old. The panic of your 20s has settled into a dull, grinding routine. Then, one Tuesday afternoon, your manager calls you into their office. They shake your hand. A promotion, a raise. Your salary jumps by 20%. You let out a massive sigh of relief. Finally, you think, breathing room. Finally, you can start getting ahead. But the system is incredibly efficient at absorbing your excess energy. With your new title comes new expectations. You can't be seen driving that old beat-up car anymore. So, you walk into a dealership and sign a shiny 5-year financing agreement. Then, society whispers the ultimate middle-class commandment into your ear. Stop throwing your money away on rent. So, you sit in a pristine bank office and sign the heaviest document of your entire life, a 30-year mortgage. You unlock the door to your new suburban home. It has a manicured lawn, a 2-car garage, and a beautiful kitchen. It is the exact picture of the American dream. But as you stand alone in the empty living room, the sheer gravity of what you've done drops onto your shoulders. You owe the bank $500,000. Your monthly expenses have completely absorbed your new raise. The breathing room you felt just a few months ago has entirely evaporated. You didn't buy freedom. You just bought a more expensive, comfortable cage. You are wearing golden handcuffs, and you suddenly understand the absolute terrifying rule of the middle class. Stillness is survival. You cannot quit. You cannot take a year off to travel. You cannot start that risky business you always dreamed of. Because if you stop moving, if the paychecks stop flowing for even 4 weeks, your entire world collapses. So, you wake up the next morning, put the blue suit back on, and go back to work for the next 10 years. You are 65 years old. Your hair is gray, your joints ache. You have spent 40 years running on the treadmill. You are given a cheap sheet cake in the office break room, a firm handshake, and a piece of paper telling you that you are finally permitted to stop working. You go home and look at your retirement account. Over the decades, you managed to save what sounds like a massive fortune, $1 million. But as you look at the world outside your window, a cold, terrifying realization washes over you. The house that cost $200,000 when you were 30 now costs over $1 million. The cost of groceries, healthcare, and electricity have all skyrocketed. Your money grew, yes, but the value of it was secretly drained. You realize you were fighting a boss you couldn't even see: inflation. For 40 years, you traded your finite, irreplaceable time for paper currency. But while you were working, the system was printing trillions more of that exact same paper out of thin air. They didn't just raise prices, they diluted the value of your life's energy. The middle-class trap was never designed to build your wealth. It was designed to extract your labor to build the wealth of the 1%. But in this final moment of clarity, you suddenly see the code of the matrix. You see how the wealthy actually play the game. The rich do not trade time for money, and they certainly don't save paper currency in a bank. Instead, they buy the game itself. While you were buying expensive cars that rusted and depreciated, they were buying businesses, land, and assets. Things that produce money while they sleep. Things that rise in price exactly when the system prints more currency. You realize the only way to escape the premium peasant trap isn't to work harder. It isn't to ask for a 10% raise. It is to stop buying things that make you look rich and start buying things that make you truly free. The game is rigged, but now that you know the rules, you can finally start playing to win.